Hey there, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations, and we're going to do a craft with wooden spoons, so little bamboo spoons. So now that we're moving away from plastics, these are really easy to find. Got these from the dollar store, 30 in a pack for $2. And I like them. I think they're cute. Now, I'm gonna use them plain, but you could certainly dye these, tea stain them, coffee stain them if you wanted a different look. The first thing that I need though is to create a base. So you could simply get a plate and cut a circle around it. I'm going to use a little protractor. All right, so this has got a pokey end and it's got a pencil in the other end. And I can just kind of turn it around in a circle. And that way I can get the size that fit on my paper. And I'm just gonna get this cut out. So no magic to this before I bring you back for the rest. Okay, I have my circle cut out. Now, if you have a little piece of wood that's already in a disc shape, you have an old plastic plate that you don't care about, and you wanted to use any of those would work for this craft. What we're gonna do is for our first row is we are just going to glue these down. So I have some hot glue going. This could be kid friendly. I just wanna make sure I get the start of it proper. But in which case, just use a glue that is going to be safe for them to be able to use. So I'm just going to glue these all the way around in a circle. Okay, so my first row is done. And it needed 34, 36. And this is maybe about a 6-inch circle. You can see that I had to overlap some. They couldn't all just lie perfectly flat without gaps. And I wanted this first row to be kind of touching all the way around. Now, this next row, I'm actually gonna cut the spoons down. So I sort of lined them up, decided roughly where I needed them to go, and I drew a line on the side. So I'm just taking a pair of cutters and I'm taking so the sharp edge is right up against where that line is. I just squeeze and bend. And it just kind of tears it apart. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of look at these as groupings of 3, I think. And we're gonna lay this down over top of one, but then we have to skip. So we're not gonna be doing them in between. You're gonna have a spoon in between, but we're just kind of filling in that space now. And we're gonna be gluing all those around in our circle. I'm still leaving the center clear. We're gonna be adding things in there. So I'll be hiding all of this glue and all of this mess, but we're just gonna be adding those spoons around, kind of filling in the circle as we go. Now mine ended up being a little bit more oval. See how it's a little taller, a little longer. So I'm gonna do it on the side. But a couple things I wanted to mention. If you were doing this with kids, I'm gonna do florals in the center, but you could cut out another piece of maybe like hard cardstock, and you could get them to paint this all yellow and glue that cardstock in the center and glue a little face on it. It could be a sun that they made. You could do yellows and browns around it and glue that same circle, but draw a face, and now it's a lion and this is his mane. So don't think with your kids that you have to make it into florals. This kind of lends itself to other design ideas. And I mean, you could cut it close to the spoons, right? So I still have, I did this with not using, I have 4 left, so not using that second pack of 30. So this is, well, if there's 30 in there, then that's 56 spoons. But you could cut the spoons off closer, right? Go around again, and then in the very center, just take the spoons and make them into a floral. So you could do the whole thing with just these. And the ends of these become almost like little popsicle stick ends. And I will save these because I will cut them shorter, maybe use them as little roof shingles on a project. You just never know. So I just baggy them up and put them in with my wood. But what I do have is I thrifted these 2 little bundles, and I'm just going to use those. So what I am going to do is, okay, cut them off, and I'm going to pull a bunch of the leaf parts off if I can. Oh, I have to cut it above that hook. So I'm going to cut some of the leaf parts off first because I want to get some of those. These are slightly smaller little flowers, so I want to get my greenery down first before I start looking at adding my florals in, and we'll kind of go from there. But you know what? It's a great way of using like the old thrifted florals and just, you know, some of the other odds and ends. I just collect these when I see them. It's been really slim pickings lately, actually. There's been 0 florals, and if there are any, they feel compelled to charge me like $15 or something for a little bundle. And I'm going, okay, if I'm spending $15 on a little bundle of florals and I'm buying new, which I do periodically, and sometimes dollar store, depending upon what I'm after and what they've got. But I'm just looking at taking these little greenery picks and just gluing them up around the edges. So they're going to go all the way around my circle. I'm going to get enough to be able to do that. And that starts creating some of that greenery and that filler. I have the 2 different colors of green, so I am going to make sure that I sort of stagger them or intermingle them so that I have some variation in that shading before we then look at adding some of the florals. I'm going, you know, those color, those things over there. Yeah, the florals. Now, this isn't the only green I'm going to put in there, but I just wanted a little base as I go to add in any of our florals so that, you know, it becomes easier to, then we can see a little bit of the greenery peeking out, and we can add in elements around that. So now it's just a case of grab whatever elements and florals I've got, and just start tucking them in, gluing them down, and seeing what we've got. I'm going fairly neutral on mine, but again, you could go into stronger colors, and you know, especially like if you've coffee stained or tea stained these, or you've dark waxed them or something, you may have darker outer colors to play with, which would also be very cool. Okay, gang, here's my finished wooden spoon project. It's just, I haven't decided which is the up and down. Maybe here. I don't know. I have to play with it still. Take a look. I don't know what it was that got into my head about seeing the wooden spoons. I think it was because I opened up a new pack and I dumped them out on my desk, and they kind of fell into sort of a spiral configuration. And then this happened. But again, it's one of those things that I think it's cute. I think it's interesting, super easy, nice and fun. I think it lends itself to a lot of other designs. Like I said, if you're doing it with kids, then go in a kid direction, whether it's a lion or a sun or just nice big happy face or, you know, combination of those kinds of things. There's a lot that you could do to be able to make this like a starburst or start to glue them out so that it could be like a dandelion fluff. Yeah, there's so many possibilities, but super simple, super easy possibility is just gluing in some thrifted florals, some old florals that you've got, putting a little bit of hanging hardware onto the back of this, and you've got a cute little decoration. These would be super sweet to do a bunch of these, maybe with bridesmaids for a shower, and being able to then have these decorating either tabletops like this. You could certainly put a candle coming up in the top if you wanted, or if you wanted to decorate tablescape or the walls, super light to be able to hang. Let me know what you think of this one. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on the next. Take care.